All right, gather round, folks, because today we're diving into a relationship saga so convoluted, so filled with plot twists, it makes your favorite soap opera look like a single-episode documentary about drying paint. We're talking about the love triangle that isn't really a love triangle at all, but more like a geopolitical wrestling match with really high stakes. The relationship between Iran and Israel. You see them in the news, always on opposite sides, throwing metaphorical, and sometimes literal, shade at each other. Enemies, they scream. Existential threat, they echo. But what if I told you, dear viewer, that once upon a time, not so long ago in a galaxy not so far away, these two were, well, not exactly BFFs, but definitely on friendly terms. Like, hey, want to grab a coffee and talk regional security? Friendly? Yeah, I know. Mind? Blown? So, let's set the Wayback Machine to the mid-20th century. Israel is a freshly minted state, still figuring out where to put the communal coffee machine. Iran, under the Shah, is looking to modernize, westernize, and generally become a big player in the neighborhood. Both had common interests. For Israel, a non-Arab ally in a sea of Arab nations that weren't exactly sending them welcome wagon baskets was a godsend. It was a classic enemy of my enemy is my slightly less uncomfortable acquaintance situation. For Iran, Israel offered a discreet backchannel to Western technology and military training that didn't come with all the messy political strings attached to, say, dealing directly with the Americans. Plus, both viewed Arab nationalism as a mutual headache. So they shook hands, probably exchanged pleasantries about the weather, and decided to be quiet allies. They had trade, they had intelligence sharing. There were even Israeli technical advisors in Iran. Imagine that! Israelis teaching Iranians how to grow better oranges, or something. It was the era of the periphery doctrine for Israel, find allies on the edges of the Arab world. Iran was a perfect fit. It was like a secret handshake club, but with more spies and less pizza. Fast forward to 1979. Cue dramatic music. The Iranian Revolution. The Shah is out, the Ayatollah is in, and suddenly the entire script gets thrown out the window. Imagine going to bed with one set of friends and waking up to find them replaced by a group of highly ideological, very anti-Western, and explicitly anti-Israel new management. This wasn't just a change of government, it was a total ideological U-turn. Israel, from being a quiet partner, was now labeled the Little Satan, right alongside the Great Satan. That would be the U.S. In case you were wondering. It's a bit like finding out your distant cousin, whom you barely acknowledged, suddenly hates your guts and has written a 500-page manifesto about it. Awkward. The reasons for this ideological shift are, as always, complex. The new Iranian regime saw Israel as an extension of Western imperialism, an illegitimate entity occupying Muslim lands. Plus, supporting the Palestinian cause became a cornerstone of their revolutionary identity. It was a powerful rallying cry, a way to unite the masses under a new banner. And let's be honest, nothing unites a nation like having a common enemy, especially one you can demonize on a regular basis. It's like finding that one person everyone in your family secretly dislikes and then making them the official holiday scapegoat. Instant bonding. From then on, the relationship deteriorated faster than a politician's promise before an election. Iran started supporting groups openly hostile to Israel, like Hezbollah in Lebanon and various Palestinian factions. Israel, in turn, began viewing Iran's nuclear program with extreme suspicion, seeing it as an existential threat. It became a classic security dilemma. Iran says its nuclear program is for peaceful energy. Israel says, sure, and my pet unicorn flies to the moon. Each side's actions, perceived as defensive by themselves, were seen as aggressive by the other. It's like two people constantly yelling, "I'm just protecting myself," while simultaneously pushing each other closer to a cliff edge. The proxy wars started heating up. Syria became a particularly crowded chessboard, with Iran supporting Assad and deploying its own forces, while Israel launched airstrikes to prevent Iranian entrenchment and weapons transfers. Yemen, Iraq, even cyberspace. It's a global game of tag, you're it, but with missiles and malware instead of friendly taps. It's a low-grade, high-tension conflict fought mostly by deniable proxies, making it incredibly hard to predict or contain. Like a silent disco, but everyone's dancing to a different, very aggressive tune. And the rhetoric? Oh, the rhetoric. From wiping Israel off the map to threats of preemptive strikes, the verbal sparring matches are legendary. It's a constant war of words designed to intimidate, rally domestic support, and keep everyone on edge. Like a perpetual Twitter feud, but with actual consequences if someone types something too inflammatory. So, from secret handshakes to public threats, this relationship has truly run the gamut. It's gone from a discreet alliance of convenience to an open, often hostile rivalry. So, what's the takeaway from this epic geopolitical drama? Well, for one, alliances are rarely forever. Geopolitics is less about eternal friendship and more about shifting interests. And two, history has a wicked sense of humor, sometimes setting up the most unlikely friendships that turn into the fiercest rivalries. Will they ever go back to sharing coffee and security tips? Unlikely, at least in our lifetime. The ideological chasm is just too wide now. But understanding how they got here, from cautious allies to sworn enemies, helps us make sense of why the Middle East map continues to be such a complicated puzzle. Because in this part of the world, yesterday's friend can very easily become tomorrow's greatest foe, and that's the real plot twist.